Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel. If you're a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, hit that like button and subscribe because today we've got some seriously exciting news to talk about. You won't want to miss this one. Now, there's been a lot of buzz recently, and I'm talking about some major speculation that could potentially shake up the NFC East and change the entire landscape of the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys are reportedly making a massive push to acquire one of the most dominant defensive players in the league right now, Myles Garrett. Yes, you heard that right. Myles Garrett, the defensive powerhouse from the Cleveland Browns, could be donning the silver and blue next season. Imagine that for a second. Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and the rest of the Cowboys' defense absolutely wreaking havoc on opposing quarterbacks. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this just another rumor or is something real happening behind the scenes? Well, based on what we've been hearing from multiple sources close to the situation, the Cowboys are indeed in talks to make this deal a reality, and it's not just speculation. The move would be a game changer for the Cowboys' already stacked defense, and it could elevate them to a level where they are, without a doubt, one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. So, let's break it all down and explore what this could mean for the Cowboys, the Browns, and the NFL as a whole. First, let's talk about Myles Garrett. This guy is a beast, and there's no way around it. Garrett has been a one-man wrecking crew for the Cleveland Browns ever since they drafted him with the first overall pick in 2017. He's an elite pass rusher with a rare combination of size, speed, and power. At 6'4" and 272 pounds, Garrett has the physical traits of a defensive end, but he plays with the agility and quickness of a linebacker. In 2023, Garrett recorded 16 sacks, showing that he is still one of the best in the game. He's been consistently ranked among the top edge rushers in the league, and when it comes to disrupting the quarterback, there are few who can do it like Garrett. Over his career, Garrett has racked up over 100 sacks, and he's been named to multiple Pro Bowls and All-Pro teams. Simply put, he's a game changer, and his addition to any team would make them immediately better, especially the Dallas Cowboys. Now let's take a step back and understand why this makes so much sense for the Cowboys. Dallas is already known for having one of the top defenses in the league. Micah Parsons, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, is a literal force of nature on the field, and he's been a terror for opposing quarterbacks since his rookie season. But even with Parsons anchoring that defense, the Cowboys have been looking for ways to add more firepower to their pass rush. Last season, the Cowboys finished with one of the best sack totals in the league. But imagine if they could add a player like Garrett to pair with Parsons on the edge. The thought of having two elite pass rushers on opposite sides of the line is a nightmare scenario for any offensive coordinator. In fact, it could potentially make life so much easier for the entire Cowboys defense. With Garrett and Parsons on the field at the same time, offensive lines would have to account for both players, which would create opportunities for others to make plays as well. Someone like DeMarcus Lawrence, who has been a steady contributor to the Cowboys' defense for years, could benefit from the attention Garrett demands on the opposite side. The Cowboys' secondary, which has shown flashes of brilliance, could see more interceptions and pass breakups simply because quarterbacks would be forced to get rid of the ball quicker. Garrett's presence alone would likely make every defensive player around him better. And that's why he'd be the perfect complement to Parsons. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. How would the Cowboys actually pull off a trade for Garrett? Well, that's where things get interesting. According to reports, the Cowboys would likely have to give up a combination of draft picks, possibly including first-rounders, and maybe even a player or two who could step in and contribute right away. The Browns are in a bit of a weird position right now. While they have one of the best defensive players in the league in Garrett, they've struggled to find consistent success as a team. The Browns haven't been able to build a playoff contender around Garrett, and that has led to some frustration on his part. Now, if the Cowboys can convince the Browns to part with Garrett, they would have to offer them a package that helps Cleveland reload for the future. The Browns are in a rebuild mode, and trading away Garrett would be a tough decision. But if they could get multiple high draft picks and solid players in return, it might be a move they're willing to make. What would Garrett bring to the Cowboys? Well, for starters, he would immediately improve their pass rush, which was already one of the best in the league last season. Having Garrett opposite Parsons would make it virtually impossible for opposing offenses to handle both players at once. With Garrett's ability to win one-on-one matchups and Parsons' versatility, offensive lines would have no choice but to give extra help on one side, which would open up opportunities for the other. Garrett would instantly become one of the focal points of the Cowboys' defense, and the impact he could make on the field would be immediate. He's not just a sack machine. Garrett is a complete player. He can stop the run, he can chase down quarterbacks from the backside, and he can force turnovers. His ability to disrupt the quarterback's rhythm would be invaluable to a team that already has a strong defensive unit in place. The trade would send a message to the rest of the NFC East and the NFL. The Cowboys are all in. Jerry Jones is known for being aggressive in his pursuit of Super Bowl titles, and he's always looking for ways to improve his team. After coming close but falling short in the playoffs last season, Dallas has no time to waste. They've got a talented roster, and they need to make sure they're in the best position possible to make a deep playoff run. Adding Garrett would solidify the Cowboys' defense as arguably the best in the league, and it would give them a legitimate chance to win it all. With the way the NFC is shaping up, the Cowboys would be right in the mix with teams like the 49ers, Eagles, and even the Lions, who are emerging as a force to be reckoned with. It's not just the defense that would benefit from Garrett's addition either. Garrett's leadership and experience could have a positive effect on the entire team. He's been a captain for the Browns for years, and his intensity and work ethic are well respected throughout the league. The Cowboys have a lot of young players, especially on the defensive side, and Garrett's veteran presence could help mold the next generation of Cowboys defensive stars. He's the kind of player who demands excellence, and that could rub off on the entire defense. His energy, his passion, and his ability to rise to the occasion in big moments would elevate the Cowboys in a way that few other players could. Steve, of course, no trade is ever without risk. Garrett has dealt with some injury issues in the past, and while he's been incredibly durable for most of his career, the Cowboys would need to carefully evaluate the medical aspect of the deal before pulling the trigger. But if they're confident in his health and his ability to continue playing at a high level, this could be one of the best moves the Cowboys have made in recent memory. So, Cowboys fans, what do you think? Should Dallas go all in and trade for Myles Garrett? What kind of package would you be willing to offer the Browns? I want to hear from you in the comments below. Would you be okay with giving up a couple of first-round picks or some young players to secure Garrett's services? Or do you think the Cowboys should look for a different route? Either way, one thing's for sure. This potential deal has the entire NFL talking, and if it happens, it could completely change the way we view the Cowboys heading into the 2024 season. Thanks for tuning in, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming Cowboys news. I'll be keeping you updated on all the latest developments regarding Myles Garrett and any other big moves the Cowboys make. Until next time, as always, go Cowboys.